sales in EVs in entire India. Besides infrastructure and sustainability, I also have to think of access. Lots of people may not have money for rail or bus. My government has given free bus travel to around 20 million women. Empowerment of women, empowerment of marginal people through mobility is a big achievement for my government. We are building a new future city, a net zero city. We want to build the world's best mobility options in this city. Finally, we want to move our people fast. We want to move people at very low cost. We want to move people in a sustainable way. I want investments to help build urban mobility infrastructure to move more than 40 million people across Telangana. My 3 words: fastest, greenest, lowest cost. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.
Pankaj, the Honorable Chief Minister has...
The next decade is India's decade, or if it has to be India's, with capital flow coming into us. I think 3 things are very important. And very often, we hear, the whole discussion centered around how government needs to do more. I think there are 3 things which are fundamentally important. If you look at India as a country, 50% of India is less than the age of 27. 65% of India is less than the age of 35. Now that's it's not the demographic dividend I'm talking about. In a knowledge economy, I think the think force that India has today, the young think force, no other country on the planet has it. Now the biggest challenge for us as governments, as industry, is to forge the right kind of partnerships. Now that is what can be done at Davos. That is what can be done at these in other similar forums. Now the point I'm trying to make here is, it's not always about capital. Of course, capital is important, but we also need to realize that there are unleveraged resources within our own country, and that's what the government's responsibility is. For instance, Canadian pensioners' money is used in infra projects in India. Where is the Indian pensioners' money? Since you mentioned OPS and CPS, where is the Indian pensioners' money? It's lying somewhere in a fixed deposit or some bank account somewhere. Lakhs and lakhs of crores of rupees, unleveraged, unutilized. And the third thing I'll tell you about is technology and its ability to serve as a force multiplier. I'm a firm believer that India has to position itself as in a hybrid mode between China and US. If you look at it, China is the factory of the world. US is considered the knowledge economy of the world. Now India can ideally position itself as a in-between, where manufacturing can also happen. At the same time, knowledge economy can drive the high value, potential that India can leverage when, the young think force that I just talked about. Having said that, going back to your question, wealth creation in India historically has not been appreciated. In fact, any entrepreneur, if you look at the West versus India, I think it has a bit of a root in the socialist mindset with which we started off. So wealth creators are typically not looked at as, employment generators. They're looked at with suspicion. That's a fact. But if you look at the West and the capitalist world that there is, each and every wealth creator, including Elon Musk, they're poster boys. They're poster boys. Literally, people eulogize them. Now, when it comes to India, because of our socialist mindset, or call it whatever, people do not understand that an incentive that I'm giving Rajan or his company is not an incentive that I'm giving to Bharti. In fact, it is to create employment, to spur innovation, to create more tax revenue, to improve the economy. Unless this is understood and documented and actually spoken about vocally, of course, we have to strike a balance. I mean, a farm loan waiver versus a corporate loan waiver, that debate will always rage on. Because, depending on where you sit, in opposition or in government, I guess you kind of latch on to the rhetoric. But the fact is, India needs to find that balance. India needs to ensure that we understand wealth creation is important. We have to propel ourselves into the first world or second world. We need to encourage wealth creation. We need to encourage our entrepreneurs and startups.